Hi Taurus. So welcome to this pick a card reading. What we're going to do is, the question is, what do your Akashic records want to tell you, Taurus, to do with 2021? So we're going to go into that. We're going to do 3 different piles. But just before we do that, I just want to there's just a couple of things that I think are super important that just come slamming out of your Akashic records. And to be honest, it is like an astrological type of thing. So the first thing is, just be mindful that this is a really important time for Taurus energy. So whether you're sun, moon or rising, or even if it's just that you have a lot of planets in Taurus, or you maybe have a lot of planets or activity going on in your second house, or that I always think of planets like actually the moon and Venus, obviously, are like really important for this Taurus energy. So if you have a really strong Venus in your chart, really strong moon in your chart, this sort of energy will still be significant in some way. Please bear in mind as well that there's not just your natal, so your birth chart to consider with this. There's also your solar return chart. So the chart that you get, a new chart that you get every year on your birthday, that tells you sort of some of the energy of that year for you personally. And there's also your progress chart, and the progress chart is really important. It's how you are developing as a human, as a soul, every year that you live, and that's got really important things in. So you might not have Taurus heavy in your natal chart, but you might currently be working with it really strongly in your solar return or your progress chart. These are all things to consider. Also know as well, you can use these videos, because I've had it in my mind that the intention they can be used like this. If you are nothing really to do with Taurus, but you just know that you need to start activating that Taurus archetype, then also these are really good readings for you to use to do with whatever situation that's to do with. Anyway, so what I want to just quickly say is that in 2021, there's this really important transit, which is Uranus square Saturn, or Saturn square Uranus, however you want to say it. Now, why this is significant to you guys is that Uranus is in Taurus. It's been in Taurus for a while, but now over this year, and really from the end of December 2020 to kind of like March 2022, this energy is really potent and really activated. So with this being Uranus, one of the things that will just be a theme for the Taurus archetype in general is it's kind of like it's overcoming the need for external security. Okay, that's just kind of like one of these things. And it's kind of like it's going to show you a new appreciation of stability, that vibration within your life. Now that can be any which way. It can be creating things that are more unstable and you finding a benefit within that you would never have appreciated before. Or, for some of you, it might even be creating more stability in a way that you would never have seen yourself creating stability through that route. So there's that kind of unpredictableness to things that's going to go on. Now, you just want to be mindful that this, the Saturn square, Uranus square Saturn, has got important dates, which are February the 19th, June the 14th, and December the 24th. So wherever you are when you're listening to this reading, if you've gone past those dates, consider what happened at those time points, because it might be relevant to whatever comes up in this reading. If those timelines haven't yet appeared yet, because haven't yet got to them, then stay open to what happens around those time periods to do with whatever you pick up to do with this reading, because it'll be useful. Also, Mars is just really important for you guys at the beginning of January and February, because it's actually moving into your sign. So there'll be a lot of energy and momentum for you guys. To be honest, really all year, I think there'll be lots going off for this sort of Taurus energy, but it's really going to be going through a restructuring, and you'll be finding a new, almost like a new expression, a new reality of you by the end of this year. There's an important eclipse for you guys, particularly I think it's around about the 19th of November. It's something like that in 2021, because you have a lunar eclipse then. In your sign, the 19th of November, and it's at 27 degrees Taurus. So see what you've got in there. Right, I'm not going to go into any more of that. Just before we start now, I just want to pull a random card for just the Taurus energy on its own. So let's just see what's going down just on the whole. Oh wow, everybody wants to get this one. Okay, so 2 of vases. So this is 2 of cups. Okay, so relating and relationships and connection is going to be a really big theme just generally on the whole for the Taurus archetype. That just makes me think as well, in December of 2021, Venus goes retrograde in Capricorn, so this will make a really nice aspect, a really nurturing and supportive aspect to any planets or anything that you have in Taurus. So I feel like there's going to be a building up and a developing and a maturation, I'm hearing, to do with how you relate to other people, to yourself, and also on a very intimate, like loving kind of sexual way. That will all be going through a maturation process basically over 2021, and then there'll be some really important things that happen around about December or over the time period that Venus is retrograde. So that will also be the beginning of 2022. But that is amazing. I also feel as well, looking at this card, I'm just getting the sensations, and your Akashic records are saying this is, there's pay attention to people that you feel a real connection to. It doesn't necessarily just have to be a love connection. It can just be that you feel you just resonate with them, or they resonate with you, because you are going to get some epiphany moments and ideas from these interactions with people, and it's going to be really significant for you. And equally, when you have an epiphany off somebody else, recognize that they will also be a soul that will also have an epiphany off you. So it's kind of very collaborative. And this is a really amazing auspicious sign for just relationships on the whole, to get the Two of Cups. Anyway, now let's just choose your piles. So we have 3 piles: pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. So see which one holds your message. Be mindful as well that this is a reading that you can come back to as many times as you want, and you might find at different times of the year you pick a different pile, and that will hopefully all have some information that's useful for you. So if you feel that you resonate with pile 1, this is the stone from my Shamanic Meze, and this is the crystal. We will go into the channeling of the crystal in the extended reading in your 2021 product for Taurus archetype, but that's the crystal. And this is pile number 2. With this crystal. And this is pile number 3. With this crystal. Great, so let's go straight into pile number 1. Of Cups. Okay, so relating and relationships and connection is going to be a really... Welcome, Taurus. So this is for every one of you that chose pile number 1 as holding the message for what your Akashic records want to tell you. So I'll put the crystal to the side because we'll go into that in the extended. And let's first of all just feel into what we're going to channel. So 2021. The first word I'm actually hearing is happiness. How nice is that? But I'm also hearing like about self-reflection is going to be important. And I'm kind of getting this vision of a desert with grains and grains and grains and grains of sand everywhere. And it's kind of like the experiences that you're going to be going through in 2021 they're a refining process to do with you, but at the same point it's going to I'm hearing like amalgamate many things within your own self and also within your life together. So there's a real kind of coming together of things and aspects within you and within your life. Sometimes this will be through disruption, because obviously what we talked about with that Uranus square Saturn, but sometimes as well it's also just going to come together as a kind of I'm hearing like the aftermath of things. And then I'm also getting a vision of kind of planting seeds in the earth and then seeing the the flowers grow. And I'm actually seeing like loads of different weather conditions, let's say, around the flower, and whether they are sunshine or whether it is shower and storms, either which way, it's kind of like the vision is showing me that that flower needs all of those. It needs the sunshine and the amazing weather, and then it needs like the storms and the rain and the wind. They all need to happen for that plant and that flower to grow in that way. And that's very much kind of like, I can see a metaphor for you guys for 2021. So just remember that whenever different things happen, because obviously over a 12-month period, every single soul is going to go through changes and ups and downs and all of that kind of thing. It's just a natural process. And I think as well, it's like you using that amazing energy that you have of a Taurus, of being able to be really steady and stable regardless of what is going on around you. And I love that energy of the bull, of the Taurus. But I'm also really feeling as well like there's a real sensitivity and a real kind of like beauty that's going to get developed even more and more within you and within your own life over 2021. So whatever ends up occurring over 2021, I can just see that it is just making you, it's not in any way going to be something which makes you feel harsher or it makes you feel resentful or any of these things. It's almost just going to be like just softening you, and I feel like you're going to become incredibly wise. So the experiences that are happening are going to really, really fine-tune you and make you incredibly, incredibly wise. I'm also getting as well for this pile that when Mars goes into your sign of Taurus, beginning of January, and like so January and February it's there, that was really important for you seeing where you focus in life. And so if it hasn't happened yet, pay attention to what you're focusing on in January and February. If it has happened, reflect back on what you were focusing on. And there's something about that is kind of really significant to, I'm hearing, like the end game of 2021 for you. So there's something about that is important, and it's kind of like a background baseline for... It's kind of like the background baseline for the rest of 2021. So with whatever was occurring there, whatever you're working with there, that is almost, I'm being shown like a ball of wool, and then I'm being shown that ball of wool then gets knitted into a jumper, but it's kind of like happens over different seasons. So the jumper gets completed by the end of the year. And sometimes the jumper is knitted quicker and faster, and at other times the jumper is maybe even put to the side and just left for a bit. And there's something about that metaphorically that's got some kind of like pattern for what will occur for you in 2021. So this also feels as well like, even though Uranus, which is a completely opposite energy to a Taurus energy, is in your sign, there's something about it which is still quite nurturing to you. And what my guides are showing me is actually, because Pluto is in Capricorn, it's making a really nice aspect to you guys in Taurus. That's really quite supportive. So it's a very supportive transformation. And equally, I'm getting shown Neptune in Pisces, which again will have a very supportive aspect to that Taurus energy. So it kind of really feels like you will go through deep, deep transformation. But I'm hearing of all of the piles, and obviously I've not gone into 2 or 3 yet, you're the pile where it's almost going to be the least disruptive. And a lot of that is down to the fact that you guys already have, whether you're aware of it or not, you have a very mature outlook on yourself and life. And that's something which is going to be, I'm hearing, invaluable for you throughout 2021. So whenever you listen to this video, if at some point you kind of feel like you don't feel like that, just recognize that you absolutely have that within you. And I just think it's a tiny bit of I'm hearing, just go and do something that you enjoy, that makes you feel lovely. Like, if you're a more feminine energy, because obviously I'm not going to say genders because I don't think it really matters, but if you're a more feminine energy, maybe you'll just want to do something to kind of like beautify yourself or beautify your surroundings in some way when things get stressful, and that will really help ground you in. And I'm also hearing, if you're more of a masculine energy, you you just need to go and do some kind of like a movement that makes your body feel great. And I'm hearing that can be so many different things for all of you because you're on a huge spectrum, but that will be for the more masculine energy of you. When things start to get overwhelming, just do some kind of movement. And I'm really feeling like it needs to be out in nature. Being out in nature in some way will really help ground you. Also, I just have to say, you know this stone, I once gave a treatment to my little friend Rupert the Pomeranian, and he was massively drawn to this stone. I do really feel like people, sensitive souls are particularly going to be drawn to you over 2021. So that reminds me of things like animals, it reminds me of children, and then just people that already have that real kind of innocence within them, whatever age they are. I really feel like they're really going to be drawn to you because you're just going to feel you guys have this really nice feel about you where you just feel so stable and grounded regardless of what is going off in life. Like you're an incredibly reassuring energy to other people around you. It's like you take everything in your stride, and you're kind of like, it's like you just don't get fazed by stuff. And that is just going to be an incredible quality and characteristic that you have, which will allow you to actually be very successful over 2021. And I'm definitely hearing within that career aspect and how you're seen in the outside world, so your 10th house, because that's where Jupiter and Saturn are. There's going to be a lot that you can gain and receive, but also that you can give out to others to do with your 10th house. So your career, your life purpose, that kind of energy. So this sounds really good. Let's go into some cards. Let's see what else we get. So 2021, pile 1, Taurus energy. Okay, I'm really just randomly hearing as well, like for you guys, when things get challenging or anything like that, it will actually be really, really useful for you guys to have like a bit of a routine with some breathing exercises. And I know there's some amazing apps out there, and it's almost like the Wind Hoffman technique, but maybe not that, but just find one that kind of makes sense to you. I think it's almost like if you guys meditated, one of the great ways you can just meditate is by doing breathing techniques for meditation. There's something about that is going to be incredibly grounding for you guys. This feels like quite a busy spread as well, so clearly there's going to be quite a lot going off. Oh wow, that flipped over without me trying. Okay, so the first card that turns itself over is the 9 of Cups. This does remind me naturally of a Taurus energy. I really feel like even though you're not a water sign, you are very harmonious with water energy within you. And I do feel like emotional fulfillment is really important. It's already important to you, or if you're not aware of it, 2021 shows you that feeling emotionally fulfilled is really going to become significant. And actually, if you're doing things that don't make you feel emotionally fulfilled, you will know about it, and you'll find it way more unbalancing than you would have done any other year. Like it is really, really important. And my guys as well are saying that this is the thing about whatever happened in January and February when Mars was in your sign. It was trying to show you where you are passionate, and ultimately I'm hearing where you are passionate is where you will get emotional fulfillment. But you need to also just look into it and make sure that your passions aren't driven by a societal belief about something. So just essentially make sure that you ask the deeper questions and you are genuinely passionate about whatever this is, and it's not something that you've just sort of thought you should be passionate about. And just that this is a metaphor that's coming up. It's not an example, it's just a metaphor. My guides are like saying it's like being like believing that you'll say passionate about earning lots of money, and then my guides are saying like, yeah, that might be like an outside influence of your passion, but what's deeper than that? Like, what is the thing that you love to do to earn lots of money? If you could do anything and you could earn lots of money, what would it be that you were doing? Like, what's that thing that really drives you, that makes you passionate? But it can't be the money, for example. It's got to be the thing deeper than that. The action, the thing that you create, the thing that you do daily to create the money. You've got to check out what that is, and that's the thing that you're passionate about. But that, to be honest, is a really good sign, a good omen, an auspicious sign to get the Nine of Cups, I feel like. You know, it does show that there is a lot. I do just feel like I was saying with this as well, I do feel like there's a lot of I just really am feeling that there's just a lot of positive things that are coming to this group that chose this Taurus energy. That's not to say that there won't be some ups and downs, because that's obviously just part of life. But when you get to the end of 2021, you will reflect back and it will just feel like it's been a really satisfying, I'm hearing, a really satisfying year when you come to the end of it and the reflection. Now, we are reading reversals, so let's just see. So we have, okay, so we have the Star reversed, the King of Wands reversed, and then we have the Eight of Swords. Right, let's just pull out these other ones as well. Okay. Okay, and then we have the Lovers in reversed, the Ten of Wands, and the Eight of Wands. Okay, let me just feel into all of this. Okay, so I'm also really getting with these one here instantly, this just came through, that during 2021, you are... Okay, there's two things that are coming in with this, and it depends which group that you're in within this group, because you know, obviously there's variations. Okay, so for some of you here, there is some healing that is going to be going... There's a deep healing about something that's going on in 2021. And I do really feel like, again, this is to do with your passions, like what we're talking about here. So there's kind of like, and interestingly, with the Eight of Swords, I'm not actually seeing it as you guys being restricted in some way, or you feeling restricted. I think it's more that you're starting to really feel and go inward to unravel what it is that you do really, really want. Because I'm just hearing that with everything that happened in 2020, for some of you, it's really made you reassess what it is that you need, to feel emotionally fulfilled, stable, happy, and content is the word that I'm hearing. So I think it's obviously brought some things up, and I think 2021 is then really about you exploring that further, those things further. And I do just really feel like there's internal reflection is going to be important and key, and that did come up, internal reflection, early on with this, and I can really see this here, because again with the King of Wands and the Star in reversed, I just see it more as you going inward, actually, rather than this being like an actual reversal, like a situation's not quite coming through or there's something that needs to be worked on. I kind of feel like with these all together, this is more about you paying more attention to your internal dialogue, what it is you really want, all of that kind of thing. And I do just feel like 2020 there's something, whatever got pulled up for you as being something that was a discomfort it was something that you didn't really like, that you didn't really enjoy about 2020, that's now then something for you to go deeper into and ask deeper questions like, okay, so what does this mean that I do like if I didn't like that? What do I need to do differently so I don't create that? What action shall I take so I go in this other direction of what will make me feel comfortable again and peaceful? Because it's that kind of energy as well that the Taurus energy loves, and that is very much the Nine of Cups, the vibe that I'm getting here. Like, this cat looks super content, and also, you know, because the cat's outside of the cage, I do feel, and this would make sense as well with Uranus in your sign of Taurus square Saturn in Aquarius, you know, I do really feel like you are going to be liberating yourself from taking action towards things that ultimately you may have thought was going to make you feel happy, but you keep realising through 2020 it wasn't making you happy. It just isn't satisfying. I just keep hearing these words like satisfying. Satisfying is really important. Like, you need to choose those things that make you feel deeply satisfied, and so you will actually be liberating yourself over 2021 from some things that actually it wasn't just 2020 now I'm hearing, but you know, for a long time you've maybe been heading in a certain direction for some things, but it's never quite manifested the way that you want, and it's never quite satisfying either. It's like an itch that you just can't scratch, is what I'm hearing, and you're just going to be like releasing yourself and liberating yourself from that. And I'm hearing that those dates that I put out originally, can't remember what they were now, but the ones to do with the, you know, Saturn square Uranus, like the exact hits, which is something like, now it's around Valentine's Day. There's definitely one at November the 24th, December the 24th, and there's another one, I can't remember which, I'll have to have a look. But I'm hearing that those dates as well is key for that kind of energy coming out, so you understand it. So this is more like internal reflection. And actually as well, what your Akashic records are saying is the easiest way to do this is just have a small mini discipline practice, maybe just 10 minutes a day doing some form of and I'm hearing breathing with the meditation, because it's really going to help you set your rhythm. And if you do it at the beginning of the day, you'll bring that nice peaceful rhythm into the rest of your day. And if you carry on doing this all throughout the year, regardless of what is going on with other things outside of you and changes and bits of disruption, or you know, feeling free, feeling restricted, which is kind of like an energy that is a bit of 2021 in some ways, you won't get pulled up into that. And at the same time, that breathing is going to do something, or doing that tiny bit of meditation every day is going to do something where it's going to help you further understand some things that you need to understand to do with you, which will help you move forward in a positive way. And I'm hearing as well, and you guys all love this because this reminds me of Taurus energy, it's going to be like a compound interest effect. So this is something where if you just do a little bit every day or whatever, like by the time I'm hearing we get to May, you're going to see real big changes from just doing that, whether it means that you have more internal breakthroughs, or whether you find that life starts to move in a more flowing way for you in some way. I don't know, there's just something about you doing something consistently every single day. And now my guides are saying it can be big in the meditation. We talked about that because that's important, but there'll be something that all of you can do consistently every single day, but it doesn't take up much time, which will then literally give you a massive compound interest effect by May. So this could be working on a project, could be working on a relationship, working on your health, your fitness. It really could be anything, learning a new skill. It could be anything like that. But you're really going to start to see the effects of it from May onwards. So I think that sounds really cool. Now let's just have a look here. So let me just check on the lovers. I just want to pull one more to just clarify that. Use one of these. Because also the lovers can be relationship, but can also be choice. Wow, flew straight out. The Hierophant. Ooh, I just want to have one more. I love these cards. They're so nice. Oh, wow. And the Chariot. Okay, powerful. So to confirm the Lovers in reverse, we get two more major arcana. Okay, so I'm hearing a few things with this. Absolutely, this is about choices that you're making in 2021. Once again, because of the astrology, and particularly with this Uranus energy in your sign of Taurus, you are going to be given a lot of different choices to make over the year, from internal choices to do with things about what you're going to choose to believe and not believe, to the same as actually choices that will put you more in alignment with who you are and who you really want to be. And these choices will be followed by very physical action. Okay, so for some of you, it could be, wait, let me just tune into this 1 second. I'm hearing there could be quite a lot of choices to do with your career, to do with your life purpose, to do with what you're choosing to take responsibility for, and what you're choosing to build and share with others on a bigger scale. There's going to be lots of choices coming up to do with that. Sorry, I'm just getting quite a few things coming through. Because as well, there really is something, when these choices come up, it is, and I know you guys, it's like Taurus archetype energy, it doesn't rush things. It absolutely takes its time. It knows there's no rush, because you can have this real sort of confidence within yourself. So you need to be applying that when these choices come up, particularly ones to do with career, life purpose, what you're taking responsibility for in life, how you are putting yourself out in the external world. So I'm also hearing like social media as well. If some of you are, a big part of your life or your job or whatever is social media, it's because that's also how people see you in the external world, right? What the image you put out there. I think there's going to be, you need to consider what you are posting and what you are engaging in on social media. And it's about making sure that's really in alignment with who you really are. And to build or to enhance that side of your life, it is about making certain very definite choices to do with this. Make it early on in 2021 or whenever you listen to this reading, and then stick with it. It's almost like having a plan or a strategy to do with how you're doing that kind of social media. And like I say, if you're not into social media and it's not that, it's having a plan. It's having a really structured plan to do with where you want your career to go over 2021, or your life purpose, or what it is you want to take responsibility for in 2021. But I'm not hearing it as in what do you not want to take responsibility for. I'm hearing it way more in a way more positive energy, because just on the whole, you just feel like it is a positive energy for 2021. So it's really about talking about what it is that you want to put effort into. And I think as well as, there is a part of you at some points in 2021 where you might feel resistance to change, resistance to taking like action, and resistance to moving forward in some kind of way. Sorry, there's a bit of noise outside there, and it's funny that it's coming up to do with the resistance. I think there's some resistance to moving forward to do with some new things that are coming up, because obviously as well, Taurus energy, it really likes to be stable and consistent. Just 1 second. Sorry about that. I thought I'd just wait until that noise stopped. But yeah, I think there's going to be some points when you feel resistance to moving forward. My guides are saying 2 things about this. 1, it is important that you move forward, because life is really going to encourage you to move, whether you want to move or not. So actually, this is not one of these times to be stubborn. However, what my guides are also saying from your Akashic records is when these moments come up, which probably that do come from having to make a choice, that absolutely come from having to make a choice about what is really in alignment with you and who you are, the Hierophant energy, and then taking direct action off that, the Chariot. When it comes to these moments, it really is, first of all, about making sure that you just feel happy with the action that you're going to take. because my guides are saying that any resistance you have to moving forward, it's just a bit really of fear of the unknown in some kind of way. So whether this is in a relationship where it's maybe going to the next level, or whether you have to communicate something which you wouldn't usually communicate and you feel nervous about that because it's new, or whether it's going into a new job, or whether it's actually going into a new community, so starting something new, meeting new people, anything to do with anything that's going to be new in your life in that kind of way, I do really feel like the first thing is just check in and just I think it's just reassuring yourself that actually, you know what, no, this is actually going to help me feel more fulfilled emotionally, and I'm hearing physically, and also it's going to make me feel way more satisfied and content. And actually this is an action that will lead to like I'm hearing like that compound interest effect again. It's like all building in the direction of where you really want to go. So when you just get clear about that, which I'm hearing it won't be difficult for you to do, you'll then find that it's a lot easier for you to take the action to move in that direction. So Taurus, what I'm saying to you is it's okay to take a bit of time just reassure yourself that this is the right thing, this is the right action that you want to take for you in the direction that you're going in. And then once you've realised that, then just commit to taking the action. One thing as well your Akashic records are saying is if you do stagnate with this too long, there is a chance that the universe will push you a little bit. And if it's pushing you a little bit, that just means that the situations and the scenarios that occur it will just amp up the intensity a little bit. So the way to keep everything more stable, more grounded, as this Taurus archetype energy loves, is just to acknowledge it. Almost tell your consciousness and the universe, cool, I know I need to make this decision, just give me a few days or whatever it is, if it's a bigger decision, a few weeks, because I just need to work it out in my mind and get confident with it, and then I promise you I will take that action and we will move forward. And you know what, I've sometimes done this with my guides and things, and they're really appreciate you just saying that. Because then as well, they don't have to hassle you, or life doesn't have to hassle you, you know. It's almost like giving a deadline for a work contract, you know what I mean? You're like, okay, this needs to be done by that date, okay? Are we good with that? And then people are like, yeah, okay, fine, so that's the date. And that way nothing's rushed, nothing's forced, nothing's reactionary. So just bear in mind, you can do that with your own subconscious and unconscious mind, just by communicating it to it. You being like definite about a date when you will take the action, and then just get yourself in a comfortable situation so that you feel confident within you to take that action, then take that action. So you don't have to rush anything, Taurus, but you do have to make sure that you don't procrastinate over it in any way, because if you do, it will make things a little bit more unstable. And as I always use astrology and stuff in this way, just use it to help you understand how you can make your life easier and enhance it and all the rest of it. And because you know that you have this Uranus energy, which is really explosive, it's really unpredictable in your sign, and it's in a intense conversation with Saturn in a very different sign to you, just know that in order for you to have the most easiest relaxed time with this energy, it is really to use it in this conscious way, as we've talked about. Don't let life push you, and it will definitely push you if you are resistant to moving forward in a direction that ultimately you do know deep down inside, the Hierophant again, is the right way for you. But there is no rush with this either, because the universe won't be harsh to you in any way. It's not going to be harsh to you, but it is just using your consciousness in the way that we've just described, so that you really can be like, okay, fine, right, I know I need to make this decision, I don't want to rush it, I'm going to make it within 72 hours, and I'm just going to let it settle within me until I feel grounded, then I'll take the action. Or it might be 3 weeks or whatever, because it depends obviously on what the situation is as to how long is acceptable for you to just take that time to fully integrate it into yourself before you then step into that new physical reality. So that is one thing as well that I'm really picking up with all of that. I'm also really hearing as well with these two here is it's okay to turn your back on something that you've maybe been investing in for quite a while. This won't be for all of you, but some of you, if there's someone or something or an area of your life that you've been investing in for a really long period of time, but it it just causes more tension and anxiety, I'm hearing, then you know what? It is okay to just, it's not like I'm hearing cut it off, but just sort of let it go for now. I'm hearing those words. If this is resonating with you, or it resonates with you at another time, you don't have to cut whatever this thing is, but just let it go for now. And then when things change for you, it may come back in a more harmonious way, or it may not. But whatever happens, if you let it go and then it comes back, then you know it is something that is authentic for you. So once again, you don't have to be rash with anything. You don't have to make an aggressive movement with anything. It can just really be, again, in your mind. And I am really hearing quite a lot of this about your subconscious. I think it might be because Pluto's in your 9th house, and that's very much to do with belief systems. Let me just check it's in your 9th house. Yeah, it is. It's in your 9th house. It's very much to do with belief systems. So I really kind of feel like that will be going through a shake-up and a change. And so therefore some things might not be relevant once you change your beliefs that were relevant before. But as well, I do really feel like this is like leaping into some incredible future. So I think you can trust what happens in 2021, because it is all working for your benefit and in your favour. For some reason, again, this is flagging up to do with Mars being in your sign of Taurus in the first 2 months of 2021. There is something significant that was going off in your mind, in your situation or anything like that, or that is going to be going off in your mind or going off in your situation. So see if that resonates to pulls any of this kind of thing together. Now let's just pull a few more cards. I'll go with this one. So what else do we need to know about 2021? Oh wow, 2 cards, fine. I do know it is a big year for Taurus energy, and it's a big year for Aquarius energy. So as well, if any of you have other important astrological aspects in Aquarius, then it really is a big year for you. And it's definitely, don't allow yourself to feel restricted or obligated, or I don't know, feel like burdens, but equally don't make yourself feel like you have to liberate yourself from a situation. Try and find the midway point between the two by taking responsibility, but at the same time making sure that you still feel emotionally good, emotionally fulfilled within that situation. And then once again, these radical energies won't play out on you too strongly. Okay, I'm just getting a message here from your guides, so okay, so I just get these kind of cryptic messages that then we go into in the extended. So this one says here, put the ball in the net, then pick it up again and ask why. So I always get these really random stuff, but then my guides always say this is because it helps everybody like channel into an aspect of their consciousness which otherwise they wouldn't feel into because it's too abstract. So who knows? But anyway, we'll go into that later. So then we have, the warrior. Be fearless and stand strong. Immediately what's coming up there again is this Mars energy. And actually as well, yeah, Mars does play quite an important role. I do keep feelings coming up with some of the other readings as well, because it actually makes contact with all of the outer planets. So we're talking like Uranus, Neptune and Pluto, and they're always the planets that go through deep transformations. So what all the words I'm getting with this is standing your ground, to do with what it is you want now. Because this is the thing, I'm getting that Uranus energy is a very futuristic energy as well, and it's actually going to start to make you think about the future and your future in a new way, in a new light. And then there's something about you having courage to go in this sort of new direction to do with whatever is coming up. And we get here the woods. These cards are so beautiful. So I don't think everything's going to be immediately obvious to you guys about 2021. And there are time periods when, like I say, it could feel like you just don't have the full picture. And once again, that is okay. I think you just need to know that when you don't have the full picture, more information will be coming in. So you don't need to feel ungrounded by that at all. But it is just about, I'm hearing, watching and wait. And then you will start to know when to take the action. Anyway, then we get Canary Spirits, sing your own songs. That's making me feel into this Aquarius energy again. I do really feel like this Aquarius archetype is coming up again quite strongly for you guys. So as well, this will mean that think about your future, see your future in a different way. Pay attention to the people that get attracted to you during this time period, and pay attention to new ideas that start to make you feel alive in a new way. All of that's going to be important. Then we have here the Dog Spirit, be loyal to what you love. Interesting. So this also makes me feel into a relationship dynamic. Okay, so I'm hearing something from your past wants you back. And that is to do with this Dog Spirit energy. So we will also go into that in the extended. Cool, so I hope that's been useful for you. Like I say, we'll go into both of these questions, what's going on there, and we'll go into the Canary Spirit, the Dog Spirit, this Warrior energy, the Wood energy, and then we're going to put it all together. We'll also channel this stone for some additional insight, and then we're also going to choose a I Ching card, and then I'll just read it out from the book, and that can be an additional guidance for everything else that's going on. But yeah, I think there's obviously there'll be lots that happens for you guys. Definitely check out, if you know your birth chart, check out what's going off in the sign of Aquarius. If you don't see anything in your birth chart, see if you can check it out in your solar return chart or your progress chart, because I do feel like this Aquarius energy is also going to be playing out in some way significantly for you guys. But anyway, I hope that was useful. Hope to see you on the extended. And if not, I'm putting quite a few more specific picker cards just for you, Taurus. So remember to mix them up though with your rising sign, your sun sign, your moon sign, and just sometimes randomly, you can just do it like a real random, see what your intuition pulls you to, even if it's Scorpio and it's pile 3, you know what I mean? There could be a message there for you. Anyway, look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye. So thank you for letting me read for you. That was totally my pleasure. If you'd like the extended reading, you just need to go over to my website on abigailgracepsychic.com. I'll leave all the links below. There's the choice for you to buy one reading, one extended reading, or multiple extended readings, and there's different packages that you can go for, so that you can get the most out of it. Just bearing in mind that 2020 was crazy and 2021 is still very much a huge tipping point, and so much new energy is coming in. But when anything begins, there are always unpredictable moments. There's different things that kind of go off. So hopefully these readings, particularly if you use them in whatever way your intuition tells you to, you'll be able to get the most out of how you can leverage whatever situation you find yourself in 2021. Also, just bearing in mind that these readings are relevant anytime in 2021, and you can come back to these readings and you might find different numbers become relevant to you. So just be as creative and intelligent as possible with all of these readings, so you can leverage any situation and you can do awesome, because I do believe we all can. Speak to you soon. Hi Taurus. So this is for all of you guys that chose pile number 2 as holding the message for what your Akashic records want to tell you about 2021. So we'll go into this crystal. I friggin' love this colour. We'll go into this crystal in the extended reading and channel that. But first of all, to one side. First of all, we will go into here. Okay, so also literally just as I was turning on, just getting ready literally for you to do your reading, my guides are like, June is important for this pile. Everything to do with first house and astrology is important for this pile. So that is things like identity, how you see the world, the image that you put out to the world, your physical body, and just really importantly, just the main thing is like literally how you see the world. And I'm seeing that how you see the world is changing in some ways. you also, as a Taurus archetype, so the archetype of Taurus, Uranus, the planet of disruption and revelation and kind of innovation and future thinking, is in your first house. And that's going to be, for some reason, that energetic frequency is really dominant for you guys that chose this pile. So like I say, lots of kind of like radical changes to do with how you view yourself, how you view the world. I'm also hearing it's kind of like, this is as a metaphor, right? It's kind of like the metaphor of somebody who completely transforms their body over a year. I don't know, let's see, I'm seeing an image of somebody that just suddenly became really ripped over a year, or somebody that basically did something which meant that they took up a new skill. Let's say like the metaphor is like ballet. They took up a new skill of ballet. They did it consistently for a year, and that actually ended up indirectly completely changing their body. So the person didn't plan on changing their body. They just really wanted to get good at ballet. But by getting really good at ballet, it also really changed their body. And that's kind of like the metaphor of what I'm seeing and feeling for all of you that chose this pile. And I'm also really getting that the changes, they will be radical. Like either how you see yourself, how you see the world, but also with this radical, it's going to be very innovative. Like it is going to take you to, I'm just like seeing like one of your future selves. So, you know, like future selves, it can be futuralized, but it's not that with you with this, guys. It's more like maybe it's a future that you've envisioned for yourself, like how you would feel, how you would look, how you would like to feel in the world, how you would like to see the world, that kind of thing. Like life is going to be encouraging you to kind of like fulfill that, fulfill that dream, I'm hearing. So make that into context with however that resonates with you. I'm also getting as well that in 2021, either it will be a person or it will be an opportunity, or it could be both, that basically comes in to really help you with this kind of like changing of how you see the world or how you see yourself in the world. I'm hearing that for some of you that are less open to change, you might instantly or at some point have a bit of friction to do with this person or this opportunity or situation. But my guides in the Akashic records are just reassuring you that no, this is actually a really positive thing. And actually once I'm hearing the words let go of control to do with something, either to do with this person or this situation or an opportunity, you will then quickly and suddenly feel this person as a positive or feel this situation as a positive. So you need to just feel into that, how that will play out for you uniquely. And I'm getting this as well, like, you know, to do with that sort of like the conflict that I'm maybe feeling with you and this person or the situation. My guys are saying it might not even be like a conflict. It's more just like it's completely unexpected. And so you had plans basically, and then your plans completely change because of this person or because of this situation. But my guides are reassuring me that this is like a positive change that is taking you to, that is helping you manifest something that you've envisioned for yourself or somebody that you would be or you would become. And so if you do have resistance as well to this personal situation, all this really is a resistance to the fear of the unknown in some way. Or the fear of you actually getting something that deep down you've wanted for a very, very long time. So essentially it could be a tiny bit of self-sabotage. So once again, just feel into what that is for all of you. But equally as well, I'm also getting another number of you within this group that will just fully jump into this situation, which might not seem like much of a kind of a Taurus type of vibe and energy. But also when I heard that June was important, I did also hear that Aries energy was important, and my guides were specific. This is not to do with the planet Mars, because Power 1 had quite a lot to do with the planet Mars. They were like, this is to do with Aries energy. So I don't know if this person that will come in or that is around you will have strong Aries energy in some way, even if it's not an obvious thing within their chart. You know, they just might have a really strong Mars placement or lots of planets in the first house or something like this, but they've got like a strong Aries energy, or the opportunity or situation has a strong Aries energy. So it will be kind of it will be adventurous, it will be playful, it will come in really strong, really fast, and it could, I'm hearing, like almost knock the wind out of you because it isn't expected. But I'm always seeing it like a vision of a hot air balloon ride, where it's like you're just walking along, let's say walking your dog. This is the image that I'm seeing, it's a metaphor. You're walking along with your dog, and then you happen to come across this field, and then there happens to be a couple of balloons, you know, like hot air balloons. Randomly, somebody just says to you, oh, you know what, somebody didn't turn up. I mean, we've got it all ready now, so it's going up regardless. Do you just want to come in? And it's free, you don't have to worry about it. But just sign the disclaimer form, I'm hearing. And so you're just like instantly put in a situation of, oh, what should I do? Should I do it? Should I not do it? What should I do? And it's kind of like that kind of thing that's coming through. And then also my guides are saying the thing is, if you decide to go in the hot air balloon, you then literally do start to see the world through a new perspective, because literally you're now seeing it from the high of being in a hot air balloon. And that goes into originally what we were saying about your perspective on who you are and what you are in life, and how you see life is going to change. So yeah, that's the metaphors that we get for that. That has come through really quick. I think of everything that I've done so far, that came in the quickest, which also just tells me whatever these things are coming for you, they are sudden and they are quick, and they are really, like, I'm hearing full of gusto. I'm totally feeling that. So let's just get some cards now. So pile number 2. Pile number 2. What do your Akashic records want to tell you about 2021, Taurus? Wow, you have a completely different pattern to pile number 1. I can just tell by the way the spreads are coming out. There really is movement coming for you guys. There really is movement coming. I'm seeing like an arrow, and it's pointing like literally that way. And it's just like, I mean, I'm hearing there's no turning back. I'm hearing that it's exciting opportunities. I'm hearing that you will feel a bit ungrounded, and that won't feel comfortable to a Taurus energy and vibration. But I'm hearing that there will be some supportive people, or there's some support that will help you go into these changes so it feels as comfortable as it possibly could for a Taurus energy. So that's nice. I didn't do this for the other part, but I feel like we need one of these cards. Let's see. Taurus 2021. Time. Ooh, okay. Right, let's just turn these over. Apparently we're not having any reverse, so if the reverse, we won't take it reverse. So we have 6 of Swords. We have 9 of Swords. Ooh, lots of thoughts. We have Knight of Cups. Oh, we have 6 of Cups. Pile 1 also got 6 of Cups. And we have 7 of Wands. Okay, so right away I can just feel like you guys are going to be juggling different things, different opportunities, different scenarios, different feelings, different thoughts. There's lots and lots of juggling going off. And it's making me feel like there's a bit of a Gemini vibe going off as well. So I don't know if any of you have Sun, Moon or Rising with a Gemini energy. Bearing in mind that it's not in your natal, it could be in your solar return or your progress chart, or it could just be that in some ways Mercury is going to be active in your chart. Don't know, there's just something about that I can really feel like there's just a lot of juggling going off. Now bearing in mind, juggling might seem really unstable to a Taurus archetype who likes things to be fixed and not mutable, and Gemini is a very mutable energy, but Taurus is literally right next to Gemini. That means that there's always going to be like just a kind of like natural mutual understanding. So even though it might seem, and also if you're Taurus with a sun, You may have your you may have your Venus, Mars, or your Mercury in Gemini because it's the sign next to you. So I feel like there is a lot of what 2021 is going to be asking of you, or what it is currently asking of you, or what it will be asking of you, is not something that is unattainable in any way. It is actually, I'm hearing that it's very, very, it's very attainable. It's like very, very close. But I do feel like there is a bit of fears around whatever this might be. But your Akashic records are saying this really is, don't allow yourself to overthink. Don't allow yourself to overthink. This is really, really important. Keep yourself grounded. Stay out of your head when situations comes up where there's a lot of change. Because I'm hearing that if you go into overthinking, watch out that you're not doing that thing of fear, of false expectations appearing real. Don't allow your mind to work against you, is what I'm hearing. So I'm hearing as well that it's really important in 2021 to get some strategies that are really good mindsets for you. And it's not so much beliefs. I remember the other part was quite a bit about beliefs. This for you is specifically mindset. And I think that it actually feels more tangible. It feels more, essentially with Chiron being in your 12th house, your subconscious mind is going to be going through a dissection process anyway, and like bridges are going to be gapped within your own consciousness. Basically a lot will be going on the unconscious level, and that is exactly it, unconscious. I'm hearing leave it in the unconscious, and I'm also getting that with this card actually, with the two fishes, which reminds me of Pisces, and Pisces rules that 12th house. I'm hearing like leave funny enough, leave the overthinking about deep issues and deep topics to like your dream time. Doesn't matter if you don't remember it's happening. Just leave it to the parts of you that you're not even conscious of. That's totally fine. Because I'm hearing if you start to go in too much to that kind of unconscious space, it's actually going to be quite distracting to you, and it's not going to help. And this is quite interesting because often I get my guys telling me this person needs to be more aware of their unconscious. They need to maybe look at a past life. They need to maybe look into their childhood. I'm so not getting that with you. I'm actually almost getting like the opposite. And I'm actually getting as well that if you guys do stuff where, a bit like I can see this fox looking at the moon, and the moon for some reason this is so ridiculous that I as a psychic am saying this, but it's totally your Akashic records, so we go with it. Don't rely on psychic resources too much at all, because it will get to the point of potentially being distracting for you. I'm actually really hearing instead, it's just really important that when you're looking for guidance, which obviously we often look for with psychic stuff, confined in human beings that you already have connections with and solid connections with. So as well, make sure if this is friends or if this is relatives, these are ones that are highly supportive to you, but also will be very honest with you. That's where you need to go for when you're looking for guidance, because I'm hearing that there'll be something way more stabilizing and grounding about getting guidance and information from people like that, rather than from too much of your, that more kind of like esoteric space. I mean, can you believe that I'm saying that as a psychic? That seems mental, but this is totally what is absolutely coming out with your reading. I just want to get one more card. So 2021. What do your Akashic records want you to know? The Chariot. Wow. Pile number 1 also got the Chariot. I mean, this just also confirms there will be quite a lot of movement, and I do really feel like there's going to be quite a lot of choices, and choices came up for the other pile as well. Only your choices feels different. Let me just feel into how it feels different. 1 second. Okay, this is the metaphor or the vision that I'm getting for you guys. Your choices is to do with this. you've got a map and you've got a compass and you already know where you want to go, and you've been planning out this route for quite a long time. So you're really confident, you're really clear, and you're completely ready to go on this journey. So then you take the steps and you go on the journey and you're starting to travel, and then you come across a companion, or you come across something in your reality which changes, like we were talking about before, suddenly changes the journey that you're going on, and it changes the pathway that you're also deciding to take. And because of this, there can be something, it can feel a bit confusing. So the person that I'm seeing in this metaphor, in this vision, is quite confused because they were so certain about what they were doing and where they were going, like so certain. And now all of a sudden, this other person's come in and they are completely changing the direction of the journey that they're going on. And there's something about 2021 which is all about how do you work with that? How do you work with things when suddenly a very stable, solid plan is changed? How do you look at this? And this is where I'm hearing the mindset comes in. Do you see this as an opportunity, almost like a windfall opportunity, or do you see this as a distraction and something that's incredibly restricting to you? And that's something that all of you individually are going to have to ask yourselves when this situation comes up. And your Akashic records are saying that honestly, it's neither. It's all down to you and how you perceive it and how you work with it. That's really, really interesting. But it's definitely saying there really is something about being flexible and adaptable in 2021. And the more that you can allow yourself to be flexible and adaptable, which I know does seem like a very different energy to a Taurus energy, but like I say, you might find some of you do really have your Venus or Mars or Mercury in Gemini, or you might even at least have something significant in some of the mutable signs, which is Pisces, Virgo, Sagittarius and Gemini. And actually life is really wanting you to use your stability and your confidence and your assuredness and your planning and your strategy and your ability to be consistent. Use that, but now mix it up a little bit, expand it a little bit by bringing in a bit more flexibility and diversity to what it is that you're doing and where that you're going. I'm just getting a message from my guides. I'm just going to write it down. These are sometimes a bit random, but then we explore them in detail in the extended. Honestly, some of these are so weird, but I'm getting this. Anyway, it says, the star is in your pocket, touch it. I don't know why, but I really like that. It feels super playful. We'll go into that. I know this is definitely something to do with Uranus, Aquarius energy and your unique energy of being a Taurus. And yeah, we're going to go into that in more detail. Anyway, cool. Coming back to this. So also now let's just see what's going on here. Let's pull it all together a bit more now. Okay, one of the things as well that might even be coming up as some of this thing that's asking you to be adaptable and flexible is something to do with your emotions. Interestingly, and I love this about Taurus, I love this about Taurus, I love how you guys are just so grounded and so stable, but at the same time, you're still so sensitive and you are emotionally in tune. And I just love it. I love it so much. And there's something as well about you really honouring that part of you. So honouring almost like those more vulnerabilities within you, particularly to do with your own emotions. And I just really feel like a lot of compassion. I feel like you guys are already really compassionate, or you're going to become even more compassionate. And I also do feel like people will be coming into your life and situations occur which make you feel incredibly compassionate and open-hearted. And a lot of this allows you to see things in a very different light. Compassion allows you to see things in a really, really different light. So whenever things get difficult or challenging, because obviously every single body has ups and downs during 12 months, it's how we roll, right? So whenever that does happen, like, see if you can step into some more compassion with yourself or the situation, or get guidance, like I say, not from some psychic resources, but from somebody you have a strong connection with that you know will be compassionate to you. Because I can just feel like there's so much. It's like that hot balloon ride that we saw. That person in some ways showed generosity, which is another form of compassion in a way. Generosity of just like, okay, well, that's not worked out. Okay, so somebody else might as well benefit from this. Hey, you walking there, do you just want to benefit from this? Do you want to come on the balloon ride? So like somebody's like really open-hearted to do with that person, giving them the offer of this generosity. But then the other person is also soft enough and open enough to be able to accept that generosity. And I do really see this, actually. I don't know how I'm seeing it more now. Like, generosity and acceptance of kindness is going to be a really big life-transforming thing, I think, for the Tauruses that choose this. Either you will be doing this to someone else or a situation and it becomes life-changing for you and that person, or a person or a situation will be giving you huge generosity and kindness. And because you are open and you're open to receive, and Taurus can be so great at receiving, it just takes you to this whole new perspective of who you are and what you are in life, like we channeled at the very beginning, to do with your perception of yourself. So one other thing as well to look out for is absolutely look out for people that are compassionate and generous. Also look out for people that can receive, because you want this person or these people to focus on those that can not just give compassion and generosity, but they also can receive it. And when you realise you're matching up with a lot of those people, you will obviously also be that complete vibration as well, because it will just be a reflection. So you'll be able to gauge where you're at to do with either receiving, which is such a Taurus energy, I love it, but also like generosity and compassion. By seeing what those people are like around you. And you know, when situations are difficult or challenging, you'll know the souls that are really supportive of you and your future self, which is this higher version of yourself, like we channeled in the beginning, because they will be compassionate and generous to you. Whether they agree with you or not is non-relevant. You know, they will hold space for you. They can hold space for you and who you really are, and you can do the same thing for them. And they're the people to really confide in and move forward with. And also, my guides are saying this also turns out into situations as well, particularly in the working environment, because Taurus, you have the Great Conjunction that happens once every 20 years of Saturn and Jupiter coming together. So these are, I just really love this transit. I think it's going to be really positive and it'll be really great when you're in the right mindset. And we already know you are going to be going into the right mindset with stuff. Sorry, just checking my battery's nearly gone, but let me just get this out because it's really important. So, no, it's almost gone. Oh yeah, that's it. Oh wow. So this tells me this is something about this opportunity too. This opportunity is to do with your 10th house, to do with your highest potential, to do with your career, to do with how you're seen in the outside world, or how the outside world sees you, your status in the outside world, stuff like that. There is going to be opportunities sometimes that come in like quite quick and quite fast. You need to make sure that you're not getting distracted by what someone else thinks you should do. That's really coming in strongly. This is not about what somebody else thinks you should do. This is about what you intuitively feel you should do, and you need to go with that. You need to stay focused and not get distracted about other things that might be going off in life, in your life, anything like that. Because these opportunities to do with that 10th house that we described, they're going to come in quick and they're going to come in suddenly. But if you spend too long getting distracted by what somebody else thinks, then actually, and I don't know how that will be relevant to you, it'll be different to all of you. And it could, my guys were also saying, it could even be your mind playing out some childhood thing about, oh, well, what would my primary caregiver like me to do? Because if I do what they want me to do, then they'll give me love, and I really want love. Like, that's an old story tape that could be playing, that could also be coming and interfering with you taking up this option to do with your 10th house, career, money, how you're seen in the outside world. So just remember, if that does appear, go into yourself. What is it that you intuitively feel, and totally focus on that. it's as well, it's about you standing up for you and what is right for you. That's coming up too. And like I say, the people, the right souls for you, the people that are supportive for you in 2021 will hold space for you, whether they agree with your choices and actions or not. They can still give you generosity and compassion. So yeah, that was coming in quite strong and quite specific. Right, let's get a couple more cards. Which one should we go for? Okay, so what else does pile 2, getting 2 of these actually, need to know about 2021? I do feel like a quickness, like from the very beginning, I feel like this movement. So obviously when things can obviously be quickened and there can be quite a lot of movement, it can be sometimes quite disorientating. So probably just a little bit like pile number 1, just make sure that you you're doing something on a regular basis that you find very grounding. Like I say, this could be movement of some kind, out in nature in some kind, breathing techniques, eating. Oh my goodness, yeah, that's coming up strong. What you are going to be eating is going to have an effect on how stable you feel in 2021. So, you know, and it's not even a case of, it might not even be, just be open to whatever that might be for you, because I'm not saying it's a certain food type or not a certain food type. It's just because every one of you will be unique. It's almost like I can feel in this pile, like some of you, yeah, it is great to be veggies and vegans. Some of you, it's really, really important to be meat eaters. Like that will ground you. So there's something about you working out what is the right nutrition and diet that supports you being stable when there is a lot of movement going off. And I'm also getting gut health. Gut health will be important for that as well. So you might want to obviously look into stuff like that. I used to be a chiropractor, so I love everything like that. And I was really into different types of probiotics and all of these sort of things. But you need to find your own way, right? So here we get the trader. Exchange energy to create abundance. So interesting. The trader for me is totally Gemini energy. And particularly in like a market store, which is like where this person is, because so many things happen and go off and all the rest of it. A bit like that sound just coming back again. Don't know if you can hear it. So I do really feel as well it's important that you are in constant communication with lots of things around you. Like go into stuff where there's lots of buzz, I'm hearing. You know, where there's lots of different people coming together to exchange and share ideas. There's something about that that'll be really important for you. So what do we have here? Oh, these cards are gorgeous. So we have home and shape. It's a cute little monkey there. The monkey makes me feel about the trader as well. The monkey also makes me think of Gemini energy again, because it's this real playfulness. As long as you guys don't get stuck in your head with the 9 of Swords here, I just think you could have, this year could be a lot more fun than what you might realise, but it is that perspective thing that we talked about you seeing things from a new light, about you saying you're saying yes to opportunities that present themselves in the right way to you, but maybe also challenge your feeling of groundedness, because obviously like that hot air balloon, that's like taking you off the ground and it's a sudden opportunity, but it does come from somebody being generous. So there's some of the signals that you will know by the universe is something is a good opportunity for you. The person or the situation, it's generous. It's really generous. Anyway, let's see here. And then we have frog spirit, clear out the clutter, and sacred beetle spirit, magic works through you. So we have 2 and an 8 there, which becomes a 10. So I always think of this as the Fool and the Magician and the Wheel of Fortune all together. So there's big changes coming for you when you're letting go of distractions. More than a clutter, I'm hearing distractions. And I'm also hearing that does come in your mind, because as things get more, actually there's all, Mercury retrograde is all in air signs in 2021. And I already know that this Gemini sort of vibe isn't a vibe that you need to, that is going to be activated for you. Gemini is also the North Node at the moment, so it's pulling you in your direction about how to communicate differently. But it's more kind of like, as you're going through these changes, just make sure that you don't get overwhelmed by too much thinking. Because even though Taurus as an archetype isn't an overthinker, there's either something within your charts, natal, solar return or progressed, or something about 2021 that might at times stimulate you to overthink. So you just need to be mindful about that. And when I see this as well, the scarab beetle next to it, let the magic work through you, I do think this is about allowing a certain amount of surrender. But I think it's a surrender to say yes to new opportunities. But obviously we'll look into, you know, what needs to be cleared out more, and where this is more. Is this an opportunity? Is this surrender? What's going on? I want to know what this monkey has to say. What this monkey has to say to do with your foundations of stuff. So we'll go into that. And we will also look at this then. The star is in your pocket, touch it. As well as channel this crystal, see what it wants to say. And just to finish off, we're going to get a card from the I Ching. So we'll get an actual message from the I Ching. I'll read it from the book just for you to put your stamp on it. So I hope to see you in that extended reading, which will be part of your product, your Taurus 2021 personalized readings as a collective. So hope you enjoy that, and I hope you meet me there. If not, hope this was useful. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook on Abigail Grace Psychic. I post lots of things there. There's also my website below, obviously, for you to be looking at where to get all of these things from, products, readings, etc. And I also have another YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic. I feel just because this Gemini vibe is coming up for some reason, maybe go and look at the video, The Highest Potential of the Gemini Archetype. I'll leave a link for that below. That might give you a bit of an idea about how insights are coming through. And that also actually makes sense, my guys are saying, about how I said, don't focus too much on psychic guidance, focus more on, you know, you communicating with somebody else and getting guidance. Because once again, that's a really Gemini thing. So, cool, see you soon. Bye. So thank you for letting me read for you. That was totally my pleasure. If you'd like the extended reading, you just need to go over to my website on abigailgracepsychic.com. I'll leave all the links below. There's the choice for you to buy one reading, one extended reading, or multiple extended readings, and there's different packages that you can go for, so that you can get the most out of it. Just bearing in mind that 2020 was crazy and 2021 is still very much a huge tipping point, and so much new energy is coming in. But when anything begins, there are always unpredictable moments. There's different things that kind of go off. So hopefully these readings, particularly if you use them in whatever way your intuition tells you to, you'll be able to get the most out of how you can leverage whatever situation you find yourself in 2021. Also, just bearing in mind that these readings are relevant anytime in 2021, and you can come back to these readings and you might find different numbers become relevant to you. So just be as creative and intelligent as possible with all of these readings, so you can leverage any situation and you can do awesome, because I do believe we all can. Speak to you soon. Hi Taurus, welcome to your reading for what your Akashic records want to tell you about 2021. This is pile number 3. So we'll go into this crystal, we'll channel this crystal when we go into the extended part of the reading. So put that to the side, but for now we'll go straight into this stone here, the shamanic stone. Let's see what's going down. I'm hearing two things instantly. Watch your feet so you don't trip. And I'm also hearing watch the floor so you can find money there. That sounds mental, but let's just go into that. So, okay, so I'm getting that life's going to ask you to be a bit more quick-footed than normal. And so you're going to be having to think on your feet a lot. But actually what your records is also saying, the more you can think on your feet, the more you will spot opportunities. And that's what they're saying about this whole thing about be careful you don't trip up, but equally by looking at the floor you're going to find that there's lots of opportunities. So I'm also seeing that on some situations which may appear on first glance to be tripping you up and causing a problem, actually further down the line they're actually a source of a great opportunity. So it's kind of being open to that kind of possibility of things occurring. I'm hearing dreams as well. I'm hearing like silver lining and dreams. So it feels like if some dreams, this is different powers, of like different groups within this power, right? But it's the same vibration. But to do with dreams, it's kind of like you've got Neptune in your 11th house as an archetype for like 2021. And it's been in there for a little while. But the thing is, don't lose hope on some dreams that you've had. I think maybe 2020 has been quite disruptive to some of you for your dreams and your visions, but your Akashic records want you to know that it is really important that you still are open to these dreams and aspirations that you had for your future. And don't be so realistic as a Taurus that you kind of like put them one to one side and don't focus on them. Equally, your records are saying don't like put all of your attention on your goals, but absolutely keep them there and keep them in your mind and keep yourself open to them, because this is something as well about something that appears to be a problem actually ends up being something which helps you to do with a goal or a long-term project or a long-term vision. So it's kind of like, it's just being nimble with your mind as well, I'm hearing. And obviously Taurus energy is a fixed sign, so it's way more likely to decide something and stick on it and go for it no matter what, which is absolutely amazing. And your Akashic records are saying keep that mindset with your dreams or your long-term goals, but at the same time be open to slight mutation in some way, which will be different to all of you. But I'm absolutely hearing that there's an absolute massive silver lining to what happened in 2020 for this pile. But I'm hearing as well that often the silver lining comes after there's been like a little bit of a storm or some rain clouds. And so again, you need to be aware that there's kind of like, there's opportunity within crisis for this pile. And crisis sounds a bit full on, so think about it as like, in disorder there is order, in chaos there is stability. There's something about that paradox that is going off with this pile. And that's also something to do with this, with Uranus, the planet of disruption and changing things on its head, being in your sign. I do feel like for quite a few of you, you've been planning something for a while, a goal, a vision, something like that. And I'm hearing that 2021 is going to make you step up to do with that. So I'm hearing these words, listen to the call to adventure, to do with some of those dreams and goals, and also be open to the fact that something that doesn't seem to be supporting your dream and your goal actually might be on a deeper level, and that also something that superficially does appear to be supporting you and your goal actually on a deeper level might not be. That's just some kind of like riddle and paradox for you to work with and you to watch out for and intuitively feel into. So let us get some cards now and see what's going on in more detail. Oh, I'm first of all hearing something. A second. Okay, so this has not happened in any other reading so far. My guys are just telling me random messages, which then we'll look at in the extended. And this one's come out instantly for you guys. They're always a bit cryptic because apparently it allows us to go into way more unconscious spaces to do with you all and get random messages through, which are powerful. So this one says, trees can be fickle if you water them every day. So we will look into that. And I just feel like there's something really important about that because it's come out before anything else. Anyway, let's go into here. So, what does pile 3 need to know? Taurus energy to do with 2021. Whoa. So, first card was Justice. Second card, Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords was in pile 2. And the Hierophant. Ooh. Okay. So, what's going on? Let's see. So we have the Ten of Swords. And we have the Five of Pentacles. just want to get one more for this and one more for this, because I just want to definitely check I'm getting this right before I tell you. So we have the Devil. Yes, got it. Cool, it's what I thought it was. Amazing. Okay, so despite having some heavier cards coming through, and interestingly, they're all in a line on top of each other. So we have the Nine of Swords, which can obviously be fears, it can be anxiety, it can be overthinking. We have the Ten of Swords, which can be a huge amount of mental pressure, but can also be ending of limiting beliefs. And then we have the Five of Pentacles, which can be an energy of feeling like left out in the cold and things not working out and running out of luck. However, this is what I want to tell you, which is amazing. The Justice and the Hierophant side by side, both this purple colour, intuitively it was just like, bad luck is coming to an end. Difficult times are coming to an end for this pile, but I really wanted to make sure that that was true. So when we got here on this side, which I see as more like the past, I see like things came in that weren't necessarily... have been quite tricky before 2021, and for some of you it was just in 2020, but for some of you as well it's been longer than that. You feel like things haven't really been going in your favour. I'm seeing that that karmic cycle has ended itself, and I'm really getting as well that was to do with where Saturn was. So Saturn was in your 9th house in 2020, and that's a house of belief systems. And it's about establishments, and it's about higher education, and it's about all of these kind of things. It's about religion, it's about spirituality, it's about philosophy, it's all of these kind of energies. And I feel like life had given you situations and scenarios which had made you question your beliefs, because also the 9th house can be about belief systems. And I feel like it really made you, I'm hearing the words purge, made you purge parts of yourself. It really made you look at parts of yourself that maybe previously you wouldn't want to look at and you'd want to ignore. But because those have been brought up, because you've had to face those in some way, and you have actually done it, you've actually worked through this karmic cycle. And I do feel like you're going into 2020, or you're in 2020 with some very different belief system about who you are and what you're going to aim for in life. And there's something about your aim, maybe it's not that it's shifted, but it's almost like I'm seeing like the bow and arrow, and I'm seeing somebody doing archery, and I'm seeing that like the last year and the years previously, that the board with the bullseye has been so far away that almost no matter how great you were as an archer, you couldn't get the bullseye because it was just like impossible. It was like a task that you couldn't fulfill it in some way, because it just, no human could, it just wasn't available to you at that time. I'm seeing though that then brought up a whole load of anxiety. It meant you had to let go of belief systems. It meant you really grappled with your own self-worth in some ways. But actually that's like coming full cycle now. And 2021 with the Hierophant and the Emperor just tells me that you're breaking into a whole new cycle and karmic cycle to do with what you create in life and what you contribute to life and your status in life and your career and your life purpose. All of that kind of thing is now really going to start opening up for you. But you know what your Akashic records really want you to know is, number one, you've done friggin' amazing. You know, with like you say, this impossible task. Oh, and like, you know, with that vision with the archery, it was so far away you couldn't get bullseye. The universe is now telling you that now you have moved closer to that bullseye, but the bullseye has also moved closer to you. So now, instead of it being like insanely too far, now you're so close that you absolutely can get bullseye, and you can get bullseye every time. So your aim and your focus is now going to start to bring you things which is going to now be in alignment with the new value of self-worth you have, with the new belief systems that you have. And you also now have a very unique and mature perspective on your own fears and false expectations appearing real. And it's almost like life put you through tests last year in 2020 and a few years before that, because it wanted to prepare you for 2021 so that you could literally turn, and I'm hearing that thing about lemons into lemonade, because you're so fine-tuned with those more hidden, darker aspects of yourself and life, your shadow work essentially, that you're now able to spot opportunities and great opportunities where many people will still be tripping up. So like that image that we got in the beginning here, watch out for tripping up, but look on the floor because there's money there. That's the thing. Things that tripped you up in the past, your own personality traits, your own belief systems, just situations in life, people in life, all of that now is going to become like an incredible sat-nav, so that you understand how to miss booby traps, but also how to focus on the pots of gold. And again, that vision that we got about the silver lining, but that comes after like rain and clouds. That's all kind of like reinforcing this, that you're coming through onto the other side now. But I do really feel like this was a very like karmic thing. And when I say karmic on this, it's coming out from your Akashic records. Like it was, believe it or not, and I know this is so difficult to sometimes get your head around, but it was something that you'd agreed to go through these challenges as a soul before you came down to earth, because you knew that there was an amazing sequence of events that would happen, which would then get you to this pinnacle, so that then you could become almost like, so that you completely went round your whole hero's journey. And now in 2021, you come into the place where now you've come back to the very beginning. So now you can share with others, and you have things of value to offer your society because of who you have become and the situations that you've gone through. So this also reminds me, and this might be obviously some of you, but also this is like the metaphor and energy. This reminds me of the pile of like the really successful CEO, but the CEO who didn't get to be a CEO because their family has always had wealth, their family knows people, their family has a family business, and they obviously then took over in the end. You're like the CEO, which starts all of that for your family lineage. So that starts this new way of being, starts this new pattern, you've created incredibly, like you've purged out, you've got rid of all the weeds in the garden, as it were, and now it's really fertile soil. And actually the difficulties that you've gone through has become like it's become like manure to help that soil get even more fertile and have more life force energy in it. And now you're in a place where then you can grow from that, and you can grow from it in a really stable long-term way. And you have done this yourself. That's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting with this. So I'm getting as well that this is why it's really important that you still hold on to those long-term visions and dreams that you had, because you may have felt like some of them were illusions in the past now because of how things have happened. And again, like that archery with the bullseye, where it's like it's so far away you can't even really see it. But that really is all changing now. However, that I said you've got this really interesting mindset to do with fears, which actually now means, and your own fears, which actually now means you can see opportunities where most people would fall over. Another message as well is just that you're now also aware of what are illusions and what are not illusions within people. So I think you're way more about other people's motives. I think you're way more of your own motives. But this just makes you incredibly stable now. This makes you incredibly stable. And the thing is, for the Taurus archetype, because it's had Uranus in Taurus now for a little while, and it's going to be there for a while yet, it is destabilizing a lot of things to do with Taurus energy. So, on a bigger scale, it's things like anything to do with the earth. So it can be weather patterns, it can be stuff like that, it can be food, it can be any sort of resources. So that's obviously money. It's all of these kind of things are going under like a change. But you're like going to be in the eye of the storm, because you're going to be of that true energy, because you're a Taurus energy in some ways, either sun, moon, rising, ascendant, or your situation is like a Taurus, which is why you come to this reading. You're going to be in the eye of the storm of all of that. But you have the completely different perspective to everybody else that is in that storm. And because you have a completely different perspective to everything else that is in that storm, you almost become like the one-eyed man. You almost become like, is it something like the one-eyed man in like around a whole load of people that can't see? And that is where your true opportunities lie in 2021. And that also is where, like, this kind of like the bear to me always reminds me of a masculine energy, and I'm not doing genders, I'm just doing energies, right? A masculine energy that is the boss. They are their own sovereignty, basically. So they are the leaders, they are the CEOs, they are their own bosses. You know, it's that kind of energy. And when it's next to the Emperor as well, I know that's like amplifying it twofold. But as well, because of the Hierophant here, I feel like with these keys crossing, it feels like something is going to be opened up for you either in 2021, or when you look back in the future, you'll realise that was the starting point of this new part of you coming out. So it's also like a new part of your own sovereignty. And it's incredibly powerful. It's incredibly powerful. I really want to get some more cards on all of this. Let's just, let's see. Oh, and I'm hearing another message. Okay. So I'm also hearing this, and obviously we'll look into this, which is when you choose 4 things, put 1 back. Like I say, these are all really, really cryptic. They never work out how I think they're going to work out, but we'll look into that later in the extended. I just want to get a little bit more information. I actually feel now like, interesting, this needs to move across to here. So you've got a really dynamic spread. So it does feel like Lux is going to change for you. And really weirdly, it actually feels quite stable, despite I know the energy is not particularly stable for 2021 and not particularly stable for a Taurus archetype because of Uranus being in its sign. So we have the 9 of matches, which is the 9 of wands. I love the depiction of this. I think it's amazing. We have Judgment. Wow, powerful card. And we have 8 of Swords. So just give me a moment just while I feel into this. Because it literally feels like, even within this first reading before the extended, there's part 1 that we've just done, and now there's part 2. Actually, I'm just saying there's one more card to pull. Oh. Okay, and then we have, what is this? Mystery. I actually feel called to read this, so I'll read it. I didn't do that on the others. A shaman can teach you about power. A magician can train you to become strong in spirit and competent in your endeavours in life. But to describe how a miracle happens or how you come to be a powerful magician is to try to explain the mystery. You can talk around secrets of power, but if you describe them directly, you lose that power and destroy the mystery. Welcome to the mystery and allow the miracle of existence to emerge from the darkness to transform you. Ooh. This is... I mean, something about all of this does feel really potent. Right, so that's interesting. 5 of Pentacles just fell off the table. I do actually just feel like that doesn't have any relevance going forward, so we're just going to flip that and let it go. He's actually coming to here now. Oh, interesting. Okay, now I'm really getting it. This is such a dynamic spread. I've never really had a spread that like literally needs to move on the table. Right, so what's going on here then in 2021 is literally that feeling left out in the cold, feeling like bad luck, feeling like things isn't working is absolutely changing. But there's something about you that has to be summoning it in. Like you have to almost call in this new good luck, this new pathway. And I don't know why, but I'm just really, and I read the cards intuitively as well. I'm really, really getting it with this card. Because it's almost like she's making a wish and then she's blowing that wish. Interesting, I don't see this as a match. I see this as a candle. Like she's lit a candle and then she is blowing it out. And I do really feel like there's something about you, Taurus energy, wherever you listen to this, whatever time period, before 2021, during 2021, I don't know what's going quite on with your life because it's different for all of you, but it is now time to call in opportunity and to call in good luck. It's like you have to consciously open your energy field, your heart and your mind to all of that good luck opportunity. But as well, I really do get when it talked about the magician and the shaman and the mystery. It's really about using some sort of your own conscious creator energy. And you've got to really, really feel it in your heart and your soul when you decide to call in, you know what, enough is enough. Because in some ways, I feel like sometimes you can go on, everybody does this, you can go on this healing trap, or you can get onto this cycle. You know, when things go, it's like money. Money comes to money. Once stuff's going, it keeps coming. And that can be good luck, bad luck, the entire lot. You've had some intensity, but you've got to make sure that you get off that wheel. Because even though you've now done your karmic pattern to do with all of it, and that is now all over, and it is done, there's something about you consciously choosing enough is enough. I am now good enough to do with whatever area of that life is. I now choose to focus all my energy on this future that I want. I'm not going back into the past anymore. And actually, quite interestingly, this has come out of quite a few readings, not just the Taurus ones. And I do actually, my guys are like saying the thing is, it's because with us going into a new cycle, which is all about air energy, a 20-year cycle and a 200-year cycle. And we're specifically going into a 20-year cycle starting at the end of December 2020 to do with Aquarius energy. Aquarius energy is super futuristic. It looks to the future. It does not look back. It looks to the future. It's visionary. And I'm just really getting that that's what you are having to do. You have to consciously now, whenever you listen to this reading, decide that you are now focusing on the future. It's really, really important that you do that, because you have come to the Judgment card, but you know, you're not quite at the World card, because this is your choice. You have to choose to end this cycle now. And this really is going to be about where you put your mind, your energy and your focus. And how you communicate, I'm getting. Watch how you communicate to yourself and other people, because that's all part of ending this cycle. You've done it, but now you have to consciously choose to get off that wheel and go onto a new wheel, a wheel of your choice. And just be mindful that you don't trip yourself up about going back into the past to do something. I'm really seeing that with this one, with the 8 of Swords, with the ostrich putting its head in the sand. It actually looks to me like the ostrich is putting its head into the past because it still thinks there's something that it needs to do. If you're feeling like this at any way, just know that that is just because your mind's got trained to do that because of the situations that have been occurring to you for a long time, and that's no longer your future. Because also to talk about the shaman and the magician at the same time, like this card does, in the mystery, this tells me that you have so much personal power now because of everything that you have gone through. And I'm also hearing these words, you're not responsible for making everything right. Because you know the emperor as well, the emperor obviously, like we say, the boss, the CEO, all of these kind of things, and they are responsible for a lot of people. But essentially, you are still only responsible for you, because other people have free will and what they do is their choice. Now, yes, as the emperor, you can guide them and you can encourage them in a certain way, but then it is down to that individual's free will as to whether they do it or not. And I do feel like as well, you may have to make some choices in your life where if people or situations are not in alignment with where you're heading and what you're wanting, that it is just time to leave them behind and leave them in your past and summon in and call in new people and new situations that are in alignment with who you want to be. Also as well, when I see the Emperor card, and to be fair with this card, a couple of things. People get drawn to people that have really strong energy, and really powerful energy, and that often comes through a place that person is very confident, because so many humans don't always feel confident, and it's really reassuring to follow or look up to somebody who appears to be incredibly confident and feels like like they know what they're doing on planet Earth, okay? Whether they do or not is irrelevant. The point is to give out the vibe that they do, and people naturally, unconsciously get attracted to that. Now, this is the cool thing. You guys are really holding that energy, or you will be holding that energy. And so just watch out that you don't watch out for the people that are genuine to do with you, as opposed to those that have an agenda to do with you. Because this is the other thing as well. When somebody does have that powerful type of energy, it will attract many different things to it. Those that want power themselves, and those that just want to be part of something powerful, right? Those that want to be part of something powerful can have a more collaborative feel to it. Those that are drawn to power because they want it for themselves definitely have a more a more vampire-y, like draining kind of energy to them, and you just want to be mindful to do with that's not going to happen. Sorry, the sound again. One second, I'll just turn it off for a minute. Oh, it's gone. That's fine. So you just want to be really mindful about that, and you just need to use discernment to do with that. That's really important. Sorry about that. I just thought I'd wait for the sound to go. So you just want to be really, really important that you're mindful to do with that. Also be mindful, because this is the other thing my guides are saying, your Akashic records are saying, if you start to allow some of these people that are maybe more manipulative with energy and power, and why they actually want to be associated with you, into your life, unconsciously you'll be calling back more of that energy that you had in the past that was really quite intense, destructive, and just meant that it wasn't fulfilling for you. You didn't feel like you could achieve what you wanted. So just make sure that you choose wisely, basically. Choose wisely and have discernment to do with that type of energy, because that's just really, really important. Right, let's just see. Let's just pull some more now. Let's see, so your Akashic Records 2021, what does it want to tell you? I think as well, wherever you have, I don't know why I wanted to turn that over, the sage, be devoted and committed. Wherever you have Virgo in your chart, I feel like that can potentially help you with this whole discernment of stuff. And interesting, we came up as well, didn't we, about food, and that, or was it this pile or not? I can't remember, but if this came up to do with food, this is where it's like deciding what is useful for you and taking that in, and what is not useful for you and letting go. And interesting, I do definitely think the other pile had that. So there must be something about Taurus energy needing to let go of things on the whole. Right, let's just choose two of these. Yeah, that's it. So we'll need... Okay, so let's have a look at this. So we have the Woods. No way. The Woods came out for pile number 2 as well. And then we have Intuition with the Butterfly. Interestingly, the other pile had... Oh no, was it pile 2 or 1? I don't know. You'll get caught to another pile if you want to. Anyway, then we have the Porcupine Spirit, Beginner's Mind. And we have Groundhog Spirit, Time to Let Go. What were we just saying about letting go? And about the nutrition thing, and about to do with the Virgo archetype. And I do think letting go is these people that aren't also in alignment with you, or that actually are energy drainers, or they want something from you. They want something from you without really wanting to give anything back. They just got an agenda, basically. They just have an agenda. But we should definitely look into a little bit more about what this is about letting go, and also the big time for beginner's mind, what it is you really need to open up to. There's also something that's being concealed to you in the woods, a card I can see, but you need to use your intuition to see into it. So we'll also pull some more cards to do with that. And that reminds me of the mystery card here. Not everything is as it's seen, as it appears. Sage card, this is just saying to me something about gurus as well. Be careful about gurus or people being attracted to you because they think you are a guru, or you getting pulled into another kind of guru in some way. And I don't just mean a spiritual one, I just mean somebody that seems to think that they know what's best for you, and has all the answers. There's something about that to be mindful of, because they might want to be part of your life, because once again they want to be associated with you because they want to be connected to that innate power that you have. And then we'll also look into these. So trees can be fickle if you water them every day. That's interesting, given what we were kind of just saying. And when you choose 4 things, put 1 back. So we will go into all of that in the extended. We will also channel this crystal to see what wants to come through, and we'll also pull a card from the I Ching to see what additional guidance it's got for you. So hopefully see you there. If not, you can also find me on Instagram and Facebook on Abigail Grace Psychic. I have another YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic. I actually think it might be useful. I don't know why Virgo energy is kind of coming up. Have a little look at the Virgo highest potential archetype, because there's something about that that is relevant to what's going on here on a deeper level. So I'll leave a link for that below. And then obviously my website, Abigail Grace Psychic, you can find all of these readings, products, etc, etc. So speak to you soon. See you on the extended, hopefully. Bye. So thank you for letting me read for you. That was totally my pleasure. If you'd like the extended reading, you just need to go over to my website on abigailgracepsychic.com. I'll leave all the links below. There's the choice for you to buy 1 reading, 1 extended reading, or multiple extended readings, and there's different packages that you can go for, so that you can get the most out of it. Just bearing in mind that 2020 was crazy and 2021 is still very much a huge tipping point, and so much new energy is coming in. But when anything begins, there are always unpredictable moments. There's different things that kind of go off. So hopefully these readings, particularly if you use them in whatever way your intuition tells you to, you'll be able to get the most out of how you can leverage whatever situation you find yourself in 2021. Also, just bearing in mind that these readings are relevant anytime in 2021, and you can come back to these readings and you might find different numbers become relevant to you. So just be as creative and intelligent as possible with all of these readings, so you can leverage any situation and you can do awesome, because I do believe we all can. Speak to you soon.